make this me and make this. It might not be perfect, but it's me.
Really need to hear that right now, Gabby. I really
Expands kind of your mind and being like, oh, if I'm not good at this, how can I put my own my own voice to this? People usually know me for doing Spider Girl, so that's what.
Okay, we love Spider Girl. Cosplay is all about, bringing the character to life and paying attention to detail.
Once COVID hit, there wasn't really much to do. So that's kind of what I did, is become these characters and put on a narrative with it. So
from what you just said, we can understand that your cosplay has influenced, your path and what you do as a multimedia editor. Are fascinating. I just want to say that. I just want to say that, that's what we do here. We want to get to know behind the scenes, of all these different positions and roles that people play in the captivating, world of filmmaking. Hey, before we dive into this amazing interview, I have to take a moment to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, On the Set Apparel. They are all about quality gear for creators like us, with clothing designed to keep you comfortable and inspired on set, ensuring that you feel and look your best as you pursue your passion. So use code OTSP20 for 20% off your next order. Let's get back to this amazing interview, and don't forget to use that code and tag us for a shout out. Peace. Welcome. Welcome all my fellow creatives to the Ironbound Film and Television Studio here in Newark, New Jersey, home of the exclusive On the Set podcast, where we take you behind the scenes of the captivating world of filmmaking. I'm your host, Steven Strickland, and today's episode is geared toward our digital creatives. You see, digital creatives, they take a raw idea and they transform it into a mesmerizing visual and auditory experience. They're not just editors, they're conductors of pixels and sound waves. They're storytellers, visionaries, if you will, technical geniuses. Our guest today is a 2017 Rutgers-Newark alum. She is a true multimedia master whose work has absolutely redefined the boundaries of digital storytelling. Her accolades include being a video editor, a graphic designer, the owner of her own anime comic shop called Peach Manga. She's a media manager and assistant editor for All Black, BBC America, IFC, Sundance TV, Acorn TV, WeTV, all those TVs that are housed under AMC Network. She's a screenwriter, a photographer who specializes in portrait and documentary photography, and that's right, she's a cosplay enthusiast. Yeah, this multimedia genius does it all while pushing the limits and the boundaries of the latest editing technology. So, what I need you to do is grab your headphones and settle in and get ready to be inspired by this wonderful journey, an incredible journey of our guest, Gabrielle Mendoza. Woo! Cool. All right. Yes. I'll fix her mic.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So we're getting ready to get started. So thank you. So how you doing today, Gabby?
Not too bad. It's a pretty good enough Sunday.
Okay, is it okay if I call you Gabby?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad to have you here. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. So you are a Rutgers-Newark alum. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
Double major, what is it? Journalism and video production?
Yes,
Wow.
I am. I only went to school for 3 years. I was ready to get right into production. So, and I had no real experience with my family or anyone really with any type of film. And I wanted to just get right into it. But yeah, I wanted to do video production, but I was like, oh, I really like how they taught me journalism in Rutgers. So I stuck in and did too.
Okay, how was it, juggling the two?
It was kind of hard because I wanted to do kind of an advanced type of experience. So it was doing more classes than more colleges are telling you to do. So it was a little bit much to do, but it's really great because it kind of meshes well together, journalism and video production. So I was able to use both in the same courses. So it was good.
Cool. So I'm assuming that your time there not expired. Your time there inspired, you being a multimedia, editor.
Yeah, definitely. It was the professors and also like the ambitious students and also just Newark. Just being in Newark kind of makes you feel inspired because you see a lot of these artists. And I wasn't in Newark a lot,
Hmm.
growing up being like in Union, but ever since college I was always in the city filming around and interviewing people for journalism classes. So it was really exciting and it was really inspiring, like just the city altogether.
Okay, that's nice. Nice. Shout out to Newark.
Mhm.
Shout out to Union. Um, so I want to get a little bit into being a cosplay enthusiast now. Cosplay is all about bringing the character to life and paying attention to detail. How did you get into that? And who is your favorite uh, character to play or costume to play?
Yeah, I when I was, I think, in high school, my friend suggested maybe we should go to the New York Comic Con
Mhm.
one of the years, and I always wanted to be something from Doctor Who. So I was like, yeah, let's be something easy. And then once I went, I like fell in love with being these characters. And then once COVID hit, there wasn't really much to do. So I was like, well, how can I also cosplay? You can't really go to conventions. So maybe I could do this and edit and photograph myself in my room. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I did is become these characters and put on a narrative with it. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. How long did you do cosplay? Are you still
Um
doing it, or was it
I think
just back
I
then?
do it here and there. I
Okay.
think it's kind of an avenue for me to do other things. It
Mm.
definitely is a way for me to like train myself or test myself on graphic design. So it's just another way to me to try to do storytelling in a way. And I still do it. I do it like every now and then. It's mostly during the fall seasons, but it's something I do love doing. People usually know me for doing Spider Girl, so that's what
Okay, Spider
I'm
Girl. We love
known
Spider
to do.
Girl.
Yeah.
All right. So, has your no? So from what you just said, we can understand that your cosplay has influenced your path and what you do as a multimedia
Mhm.
editor. That's cool. That's cool. So Spider Girl. Why Spider Girl?
I think it was just like something that I always loved about being in New York and the idea of just Spider-Man and the story of me loving the city and me loving this character that just swings around and saves people. It was always fun to like create my own narrative and put myself in it, which is what I always love doing is putting someone that looks like me in those storylines. So that's what I love doing.
Okay. Well, I'm an actor and I play detectives on TV. But
That's
you are like a true detective because you have to, find and collect all of this archival footage for, the things that you do. How is that? And what is the most or what's the most difficult or the hardest project you ever had to, find material for?
I think a lot of it can be kind of difficult because especially in my line of work of editing, it's kind of you have to go back and remember all these different shows or different movies and different bites that might pertain to whatever type of edit that a producer wants. So it's all kind of hard depending on like what it is, but it's pretty fun still too, like just scrubbing through an old movie you had and not knowing, oh, that actually sounds good for like as a funny moment
Hmm.
and Alien versus Predator and using that in its own type of way. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. That's great. So do you have a verification or preserving process that you could, walk us through?
Like you mean like archiving
Yeah,
and
when you're
stuff?
archiving,
Um,
how do you keep the quality and the authenticity of the footage that you find?
yeah, for us, for our programs, we use things like Interplay Access, which is like a big program. It's kind of like this huge iCloud for files, like movie files, footages that we have that can go for years and years that can be saved on this huge machine at work. So it's kind of this process that's more like an engineer would know more about it, but I work with it constantly of just saving shows and movies. So that's kind of what we use on our end.
Right. So you started out as I want to get this right. You started out doing some work as a gaffer. And for those who don't know what a gaffer is the, correct me if I'm wrong, the chief electrician on the set, make sure
Hmm.
the lighting and things are correct,
Yeah.
right?
It was kind of like me doing any type of production work around because I was young. So I would do gaffer, I would do production assistant. It would be a lot in these small in these small production teams. So you're kind of you can be a gaffer, but you're also a production assistant. You can be somebody who's working with the clapper. It's kind of being a yes man in those days. So that's kind
Mhm.
of how I started. Is like, oh yeah, whatever you need me to be, I'll be a gaffer if you need it.
That's right. That's great because we all start out, somewhere, in our goals and our aspirations. The student-led series that you were on the production, it was called Rhonda Mitchell, MD at NJIT. How was your time and your experience on that, and how has that led to the things that you do now?
Yeah, I think it was such a great experience. It was my first time even I think we filmed that in the Bronx, which
Mm,
was super fun. I worked with a team, Fictional Films, who's also a kind of small production team that also works out of Newark. It was super fun because I loved working with the team. They're a really small bunch of cardists, and it was just a cool time to be a part of people that are organized and were ready to work and were ambitious like me. So it was really exciting to be a part of.
how did that collaborative effort help you understand, teamwork and set?
Yeah, I think it like helped me realize, what type of team I want to be a part of.
Mm,
It made me realize that I want to be with people that are as ambitious as me, but also as kind as me, who has great work ethics, who are inspired, but also are willing to inspire the team around them. So it just gave me an outlook on who I want to be a part of in these, production crews and in life, really.
okay. And what lessons have you learned, from that to help you in your professional career?
I think it's like always be kind is always the biggest thing for me. I think people don't kind of take into consideration a lot, especially in like this industry or in corporations, but being kind to everyone
Mm,
is one of the biggest things I always say, but also just having a good work ethic. It doesn't matter if it's a small production or a big production, just be aware of who you're with and who you're collaborating with and that you're trying not to waste anyone's time and not even your own time and just being having that good work ethic is so important.
you are fascinating. I just want to say that. I just
Thank
want to say
you.
that, you're telling these stories is great. That's what we do here. We want to get to know behind the scenes, of all these different positions and roles that people play in the captivating, world of filmmaking. So again, one more question about, your being a gaffer. Do you think your time as a gaffer helps you in your editing to create the moods for scenes?
Yeah, I definitely think it does. Just being on set in general helps is kind of getting the mood of what they want and what producers or creative directors want. It definitely helps kind of seeing the insight of having a different perspective of being a production and also being like in a closed off kind of room being an editor. So it definitely does help being after, yeah.
All right. And editing is something you always wanted to do.
It is.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be an editor since I was 9 and I
Mm.
would do these little cringy music videos that I could get on a Windows
Hmm.
editor and make those on YouTube. Please don't look it up. I hope no one ever finds them. But it was kind of like these little things that I always wanted to do, of making like music videos for like cartoons or anything. And it made me inspired to, continue.
Okay. So let's get into trends in the industry. Now there's AI and was it machine learning?
Mhm.
That's definitely been something. Do you feel that that is reshaping the industry when in terms of editing things like
Yeah,
that?
definitely. I think with AI, I always have some strong opinions about it, but I think that using AI as a tool is always helpful, especially in editing and production. And I think it's important to learn how it can utilize us. I mean, how we can utilize it. But it is also important to know, when we should be creating ourselves and when we should put our own human, touches on these things and knowing that it is kind of this big important and scary thing, especially us in the industry and worrying if our jobs are going to be taken by machines
Oh
type of
yeah,
thing.
even actors,
Yeah,
we worry about
definitely.
that.
That's why it's always so scary, but I think knowing how to use it as a tool is still very important rather than shutting it on off completely and just being completely negating it from the conversation is
So
it's
just
not
so,
possible anymore.
so just learn about it first before you
Yeah.
totally shut it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because I'm one of those people that was totally scared and was like,
Yeah.
no, shut it down. You
Even I
know.
am. It's kind of scary to be
Hmm.
like, oh, somebody can edit, just push a button and an AI machine can edit a 15-second thing that I could do and
Hmm.
I have to do in like a week. It's
Right.
scary, but it doesn't, have the same human touch. It doesn't have
Right.
your own voice to it.
Mhm.
And how can people respond to that is kind of something we have to learn to.
Right. Are there any new tricks or trends that editors should be, prepared for, or be on the lookout for?
I think it is. It's really AI is like the
Mm.
big thing. I know Adobe's utilizing it. I know Avid's getting kind of friendly with it as well. So it's kind of dipping your toes in understanding AI because it's not going away, unfortunately. It's kind of always going to be there, but knowing how to use it, knowing how to make sure that you're still an asset to any team is always important.
All right, cool. So has the trend of immersive, what's the term? Immersive technology, has it, affected your work?
I think like you can see some shows coming out that are more immersive. I think there's one coming out that we have called Lap of Legends where there's an a Formula 1 driver that's going to be racing with AI generated versions of older AIs and we're going to see more social and TV elements of that being utilized in shows using that. So it's definitely people want more immersive things. So I know a lot of these companies are trying to come out with more of them. But yeah,
That's cool. Editing. Editing is just so dope. They say that's that's another way of telling the story. You have the acting, what is it, the writing, the acting, and the editing. Something like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people don't understand that editing, how important editing is. Me being an actor, being on the set, and I know what take I did, different takes I did, and then to watch the film and say, oh, they didn't use this
Mhm.
take, they used that take. Why did they use this
Yeah,
take? Like we don't have any control over what the editor and the
definitely.
producers and directors, what they choose, and people don't understand that you have a huge weight as an editor
Yeah.
on your shoulders. How do you deal with that?
It's what I love about it is like having a good team, having or being able to at least collaborate with anyone. It could be like a director that you're good with collaborating with. It could be a director that can have different opinions. It's just knowing how to like roll with the punches. That's what editing is. And I also think like editing is like being a chef. You get all these ingredients and you chop it up any way you can and it could be the same recipe but it'll taste different. So anyone has their own voices to editing and I think like it's the idea of collaborating is such a big thing with editing. It's just understanding that yes, your voice matters, but being able and open to hear other people's voices is what really is important about editing.
Yeah, that's cool. I used to think that editors, well, I know there are some editors that just want to be in the room by themselves,
Mhm.
just doing it. Okay, here's the first draft. Go. I send it to you
Yeah.
and check it out. Tell me, what it looks like. But I know that there's some editors like yourself. I'm assuming, from what you're saying, is that you love that collaborative effort. Uh, I myself, when I direct as well, and I like to be a part of the editing process.
Mhm.
So the editor, that I'm with, we go back and forth. We look at the film and all these things like that. So I mean, I never put my name on the credit as editor, but so yeah, I be editing my stuff sometimes. um, Content consumption has drastically changed, thanks to social media, and with all the things emerging and changing, what things have you adapted, if any, with with what you do?
I think most of the things that we do now, I work with kind of the creative services team, so it's the promotional
Mhm.
bit of it, and it is the majority of our work now is social, is kind of how can we caption for social? How can we make it more accessible? It's a majority of our deliverables is for social because not a lot of people have cable anymore.
Mm,
So it's kind of how do we make a lot of these trailers that we made for on air to be more palatable for social. So it's a big part of my career now is kind of editing these little social bits and stuff.
okay. Hey, we love social media edits and little bits and things like that. Um, how do you how do you balance creating content across multiple platforms and still keeping the quality, brand quality?
I think it's just always knowing what a brand wants is a good thing. As a creative, you want to kind of put your own spin on things, but it's you have to know being with these bigger companies and TV networks, you have to know how they talk. It's kind of not how you talk. You can add a little bit of it, but it's mostly how they talk on these kind of scenarios. So it's if they want it one way, then now you know the recipe so you can apply it to any way you want to.
So let's move into milestones in your career. Everybody has, milestones in their careers, or what we might like to call their big break, things like that. What happened, or when was your big break that led you to all of those platforms and channels that I mentioned in your intro? AMC, uh, uh, BBC America, all of those. How did that come to be?
It's funny because it really just goes right back to Newark. Like Newark kind
Let's
of gave
go.
me
Let's
that
go,
big
North
break
Brick
because
City.
it gave me that confidence being in being established, not even established, but trying to be established and learning these crews in Newark, and everyone was trying to be established with
Hmm.
Newark Film Festival, Ironbound Studios, and also Rutgers. So my big break really came from Rutgers specifically because they just started their video production
Hmm.
classes and courses, and my Professor Takasue, she kind of gave me that inspiration and also the push to go for other companies other than like, oh, I only thought I can be in TV and film doing this one thing. I can edit a show or a movie and doing this one thing. But she said, oh, maybe you can broaden it. Maybe you can do promotional stuff. Maybe there's this type of things. It's having that type of like people around that are able to widen the way you see things and open it up more and being like, oh, there are other opportunities that I didn't even think about. So it really does come back to Newark.
All right. Shout out to the Brick City. Newark is popping. I don't care what nobody. Newark is popping. Um, so you're going from student led projects to working on iconic promos for shows like The Walking Dead, Interview with a Vampire. Okay, Interview with a
Yeah.
Vampire and True Crime Story. All right, I mean that's amazing. How do you balance, you know, keeping true to the story?
I
How,
think I think it's still like back to like um what kind of the creative directors kind of want, but
Mhm,
it's also like you watching the TV shows and then you watching the film and kind of like being an audience
mhm,
and seeing what these viewers want because what do you want? What do you want to see on the billboards or what do you want to see on social media? You want to see these types of clips rather than those and kind of like meshing it through and knowing not only the voice of the brand but also like how would you want to see it as a viewer?
right.
Mhm.
I like your mindset, and I like these gems and these jewels that you're dropping.
Thank you.
That's why we have you here. To let people know, what's going on in your head and what you do. And every guest that we have here, you know, it's just coming back to the
Mhm.
collaborative effort. That's one of the big things. One of the things that I'm big on. I love a team. I love this team here. You know,
Definitely.
and I hope they love me. Yep. See. Yep. They love me. They love me too. And we love you now. I mean, we
Thank
loved you. They loved you
you.
before that, but we really love you. Really love you now. Um, so, have you always been keen on a collaborative effort? Has there ever been a moment or times where you're just like, I'm just going to try this myself and see if they like it, or
Yeah,
has it always been a collaborative thing
I
for you?
think like when I started, that's what they kind of taught you is like, oh, you're in this most competitive industry. You have to kind of make your way, but they don't really tell you how hard it is to make in your way, or even how to. They just say, do what you can to make in your way, do it by yourself if you can. And it's kind of like that big thing that they try to promote to you, but I feel like it's not true. And I like that at a young age, I was shown that being in a collaboration of people and hearing other people's voices and trying to tell your own, but also trying to hear out other people is way more important than you just trying to mosey your way through by yourself. It's good to have people at your table, you know. You
Mhm.
want people at your table to eat. You don't want to just be alone at the table.
Come on now. Everybody can eat.
Mhm.
Everybody can eat. And you want people at, we got to make a t shirt for that. You want people at your table.
Definitely.
You don't want to eat by yourself. You want
Yeah.
everybody to eat. That's cool. Peach Manga.
Yes.
Am I saying it right?
You are.
Peach
Yes.
Manga. I got it right this time.
Mhm.
Yay. Peach Manga, your own online anime comic shop?
Yeah, it's this anime manga bookshop that me
Mm-hmm.
and my sister kind of own.
Mm-hmm.
And these days it's kind of uh I wouldn't say retired, but we're kind of in the progress of working on it and
Okay.
seeing how we can expand it to not just manga and anime.
What is manga? For
Manga
some people
is,
that don't
yeah,
know.
it's Japanese comics.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very famous around, even around these parts. It's getting even more widely famous. And if you've seen like Naruto, One Piece,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those are like books that we've had.
Somebody likes, which one do you like?
Oh,
Heavily into
really?
One
That's
Piece. All right,
awesome.
I gotta look into that. Okay.
Yeah, what episode? 1,000?
Third, you're current.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
so Sif is 1,000 episodes in. I
Yes,
am
yes.
on 100,
All right,
so
let's
not
go.
even. But yeah, but we own this kind of manga shop, and we kind of want to expand it. So we're taking a little break this year, but
Mhm.
hopefully next year we're doing big things with it, which I'm super excited about. But it's a lot of work on it that we
Okay.
have to do.
All right. Did take us on a journey of how it started. Did cosplay have any influence on you doing this?
I think it's mostly like cosplay, kind of, but it was mostly like me wanting to express another way of like things that I'm interested in
Mhm.
and trying to see what if people are interested in it too, because people have been with nerdy culture and pop
Mm.
culture. So it's kind of, it was also a way me and my sister wanted to make. We wanted to make an online shop, but we also wanted to make kind of a brick and mortar shop, mostly mainly for like female owned and for a place for women to feel safe, to be in a comics shop, to walk around and share their interests with people. So that's where it kind of started. We went into this one video game shop and we were like, we don't feel all that comfortable. And we
Mm.
know that there's so many women that want to feel comfortable and are interested in a lot of these things. So we wanted to create a shop that kind of gave that feel. I think like being a woman in the industry is always kind of, you always have to think about where your environment is and who you're around and if there's any safe spaces. I did have like these uncomfortable moments in like a bigger production
Mhm.
where places didn't make me feel safe, or crew members that were also female didn't feel as safe, and it's just being aware of, you know, what are the safe environments and how you can, because kind of production is a different
Beast.
beast
Yep. Mm-hmm.
compared to like what people think about corporations and corporate world. So they think they can act kind of differently.
Mm.
And it's not the case. It's just remembering etiquette and how, how you want to treat other people and how you should be kind to other people and respectful of other people. So it's kind of being aware of your surroundings, being aware of other people's surroundings, other women's surroundings, and even men and how they're feeling too. It's just making sure that everyone feels comfortable around the set, which is great.
And I want you to do something for me. I want you to look right into that camera. That's your camera right there.
Yeah.
And for all the people who manage sets, let them know how to keep and make women feel safe, or anybody. But because you
Yeah.
tapped in the fact that you are a woman, um, and wasn't feeling
Mhm.
safe, let them know how can they keep you safe on sets.
Yeah, on sets, I think that it's important to communicate with your team members. It doesn't matter if they're the talent or just a PA. It's all about communicating to seeing how they feel comfortable and what works best for them too, because I know that it's kind of everyone's on a time crunch with production, but it is important for how people are feeling and what we can do as a team to make this go better for how comfortable everyone else feels. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh,
very much. Make them comfortable. Make them comfortable. Keep them comfortable. Speaking of keeping people safe on set, how did you see the on set
yeah.
Quiet on the Set
Mhm.
documentary?
I
How
did.
do you feel about that?
I think it was definitely an important conversation that a lot of people should have is in not in just the industry, but how in any type of job and how children are handled, or even anyone is handled in these environments. But it's super important, especially dealing with kids and how that can affect people on the long run.
Mhm.
um Especially in the industry, like we see these kids we grow up with these kids, and then you see how that kind of affects them and how we were so hidden from this. It's kind of good to expose. It was hard to watch, but it's good to expose and
Mhm.
have a conversation about what should be happening and respectful of the talents and the people around sets. So it is important to have that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what's going on in people's lives in general, let alone, behind the set. There's a saying, I don't know exactly who said it, um, but you don't know my story. You see the glory, but you
Mm,
don't know my story,
def-
things like that. And like you said, it does need to be talked about, exposed, because there are children, there are kids who want to be in this entertainment profession, and if they don't know the possibilities, not even possibilities, the things that do go on, the things
Definitely.
that have gone on, they need to know that there's things and people out there that may not have their best interests at heart.
Yeah, and I think it's an important thing, like being a film school student, to learn too, because even in Crimson, my short film, I've dealt with an actress that was only 14 and I was only a couple years older than her, and not knowing, oh, am I dealing with a child as safe as I can? Luckily I
Mhm.
was. But having that conversation with students and also people in the industry is so important, because you're dealing with kids that aren't aware of safety and aren't aware of how they should be approached, even in, as sometimes money breadwinners of their family. So it's
Mhm.
kind of important to know boundaries with children.
Yes, yes, boundaries are really important. You set them early, and you hopefully won't have any problems, later on, in life. People need to be able to set boundaries, boundaries for respect, for, communication, like you said before, communicating with the people that you work with and things like that. So, yeah, thank you, Gab.
No
Thank you.
problem.
I mean, we're not done, but I'm just thanking you for that. Thanking you for that. Let's talk about a time where you were on set where everything was great and you
Yeah.
were very happy to be there.
It's fun because before I was a media manager and assistant editor, I was the creative assistant to the production team for IFC.
Mhm.
So I was doing all the things that you would do as an assistant. I was getting bagels, I was scheduling things. It was nothing, we did nothing with editing. I kind of had to learn it on the spot. But what we used to do is we'd used to do random promotionals where we would do bingo in between shows and movies on our network,
Nice.
and we were able to do it with employees. Kind of, they were getting like the spot IFC employees doing bingo. But my favorite thing to do was we had a Christmas special, and we had Mick Foley, who
Mm.
was if anyone knows it, a famous WWE wrestler,
Hmm.
be a part of it, and just being able to say, yeah, I was on the set of watching Mick Foley dressed as Santa play bingo. Like that was one of the coolest moments because I was a big WWE fan growing up. So
Okay.
I was super excited, and he was super nice to work with. But that was like one of the moments everything was organized, but I was so geeked to see Mick Foley.
All right. So, um, looking back on your management, career, and um, you've had the responsibility of shaping, young minds and training up and coming, you know, editors.
Mhm.
Did you ever see yourself being in that role?
I think as in like instructing more like in a college type of way, like in a professional type of way of teaching.
Yeah, I mean anybody. Yeah,
I think
and in the editing, yeah, professional, more than a professional.
yeah, I think so. I love being I always say that I like collaborating with people, but I
Mhm.
love helping people learn new ways because it helps me. It helps me learn new editing styles and it helps me learn shortcuts that I didn't know, but being able to help someone and see their work kind of skyrocket into great workflows and work ethics, I would love to do even that more often.
Okay, all right. Those of you who are watching, she would love to do more of that. Gabby would love to do more of that. Hire her. We're gonna tell you how you can find her later. All right, don't worry about that. We're gonna get to that. Now, we all in life, or a lot of us, we have these moments of reflection over our lives and career. And a lot of people may not admit that we ask these questions to ourselves or this question to ourselves. But I'm going to ask you this question. If you can go back in your career with all the jobs, all the promos, all the editing, all the video stuff, all the multimedia magic that you've made, is there something that you would do over? And if so, why?
It's funny. When I started, with my college career, I started with video production, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stick to that. And then I jumped on journalism as a double major. I definitely thought I should, or I always regret at least not doing a triple major or even like a minor in graphic design.
Okay.
Just as much as I know about the different programs of editing and graphic design, I wish I knew a little bit more. So it's definitely something I wish I just kept going with, but I was really set on only going to school for 3 years in college, so I was like, "Ah, I could learn on the there's YouTube videos, I could learn on the spot, so it's okay."
Okay. Wow. So you would go back and take an
Yeah, I would
extra
do
major. You did
more.
too. You would do another
It could be
one.
the Asian,
And
Filipino in me. I wanna
gotcha.
do a little more. That's
Okay.
what it is.
All right. I feel you. I respect that. I respect that. Now here's a question that I ask all my guests. Um, and you're an editor, so this is great. So in editing, music is a big part of can be a big part of the editing process, and music can make or break a film, right? If your life is a movie, right? Let's talk about the soundtrack to your life. What are 5 songs that would be on the soundtrack to Gabby Mendoza's life?
5 is so much. I wish there was, like, even more because I have so many different, like, vibes.
Okay, but you only get to pick 5
I
here.
know 5
Yeah.
is a lot. I would have I don't know what, but I would definitely put one of my favorites is Childish Gambino. I would have to
Okay.
put Gambino in there. Maybe Flight of a Navigator, a little sadness to it, but it's a
Mm,
good beat. A
okay.
lot of his work is great. Tyler, the creator, I'm big on. It's
Mm,
one of my other favorites is Tyler. I would probably put one of his like kind of not like as popular songs is Peach Fuzz. So like a good kind of like bouncy beat to it would be great. I
okay.
always like
Mm,
kind of that smooth kind of jazzy feel for
mm.
me. But also like you need a little bit of rock in there. So you got
Uh-oh.
a little
Okay.
Fleetwood Mac in there, a little soft rock in there.
Okay.
So some Rhiannon. So Mac for that one.
How
So that
many
what
is
is
that?
that,
Four?
3?
Four? Three?
Yeah.
So you got Childish Gambino,
You got
Tyler the
Tyler, you got
Creator,
Fleetwood
Fleetwood
Mac.
Mac.
Amy Winehouse is good.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm a little bit of a romantic lover girl, so
Okay.
sadness is in there, but a lot of soul in her.
Mm.
Trying to think of
One
another
more.
one. It would be probably Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic
Arctic
Monkeys.
Monkeys, You're So Dark.
Okay.
I love kind of like that dark kind of feel and kind of that old 60s.
Okay.
I'm very retro. That's kind of how I feel a lot of my suit is very retro type of feel, a lot of bouncy retro feel.
Mm. Okay. I like that. Well, they say I like that for you. I like that for you. Um, versatility. Versatility is a blessing. You have this versatility, right? We see that from all the things that you do. How do you balance all this versatility? Like, how do you balance uh your how do we say it? Your limitless creativity? How
Yeah.
do you balance it? What do you do to balance it?
It's not easy, and also I think it's probably me jumping around. It's probably the ADHD going. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie to you. It's just like how I always want to express myself. It's never just in one straight path. I always like, oh, I love music. Oh, I like movies. Oh, I like designing. I like comics. I love like different cartoons. It's an explosion. That's what I always like to describe myself as explosion of my interests in everything I want to do. So it's learning new things and trying to grab in this life we don't have much time, so it's trying to
Mm.
grab as much skill and as much as we can because we don't have that much time. So might as well do as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Time is of the essence.
It is. But it is
So,
hard to juggle. It's not I will never say it's an easy thing at
okay.
all to juggle.
So, although it's a hard thing to do to juggle, to all the things that you do, would you say are you a strong believer in utilizing everything that a person has, or just kind of focusing on one thing?
I think I get stuck with one thing for a while and
Hmm.
then I start being like, "Oh, how can I express myself using this or using that type of form?" It's kind of I can stick to one thing for a good amount of time, but it's also like I like being able to explore other things because then it gives you more room to take some space from that main thing that you were working on and just have some space and then have other ideas for it. It kind of just opens up your mind more and more perspective more by doing other things.
And in doing, yes, I strongly believe that. And within doing those other things, you might get ideas for that first thing
Yes.
that you were doing,
Hmm.
right? And it just only enhances it.
Definitely.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So creatives, so creatives, a lot of times I'll say we, because I'm a creative as well, we get stuck in wanting things to be perfect,
Yes.
right? How how would you encourage creatives to battle or fight against that want for perfection?
I think one of the big sayings is like you don't learn from perfection. You can't really get any notes or learn from learn yourself from being perfect. So it's good to make mistakes. It's good to like find a balance of maybe I'm not the best in this and not having that ego.
Mm,
It's really good to have because then it expands kind of your mind and being like, oh, if I'm not good at this, how can I put my own voice to this? How can I make this me and make this? It might not be perfect, but it's me,
right.
and nobody's perfect, you know?
Bars. Come on, Gabby. It may not be perfect, but it's me.
Yeah.
Man, it may not be perfect, but it's me. I'm sorry. Really need to hear that right now, Gabby. I really need to hear that. Because there's so many things that's going on and so many things that I do in my career. Excuse me, I'm an actor. I'm a director. I haven't directed in a while, but I'm a director. I'm a producer. I haven't produced it in a while. Produced in a while. And I'm a host. And I love to bring people to new audiences to people. And we just talked about chasing perfection. And I'm one of those people that do, like I said, and that's why I threw we in there. I'm one of those people that really tries to chase perfection. But you said you can't learn from perfection.
You really can't.
And if it's not perfect, but it's me. And that's all that you can be is
Yeah, and
you.
that's what everybody really wants is, to be seen. So it's you.
Thank you, Gabby. Mm, yeah. So that was a moment. Um, Shout out to my makeup artist Bria for touching me up after my tears. But that's because Miss Gabby over here is dropping gems and giving us a word. I'm about to give you an offering in a minute. Um, So let's talk about the business side. Do you have any tips or strategies for creatives coming up that can balance all the things they do in their business life, just not their creative side?
I don't know that many tricks about it, but I know
Hmm.
that it is important to knowing, taxes when it comes to being a freelancer,
Uh-oh, come
when
on now.
it, learning about the importance of how to properly commission people and how to make contracts. That's important. And the creative side is important, but knowing, how to get yourself protected the business way is important. So I think that's something that people kind of don't pay too much attention to or don't know how to, but I know that there's like YouTube to go forth and
YouTube University.
yeah, that's how we all learn these days.
Hmm.
But I think it's important to know
Yeah.
rather than just, knowing how to edit, knowing how to do your own accounting books is important too.
Hmm. Hmm. That's why it's called, as cliche as it sounds, I know we've all heard it, but that's why it's called show business. Everybody's focusing on the show,
Yeah.
but they don't want to learn the business.
And it's hard because you
And
have to juggle it as one person,
right.
but it's very important to like at least having designated time to do so.
Hmm. But we learned that you're great at time management and at juggling. So
Try to be,
yeah, we
yeah.
need to come to you for, more advice on, what we need to do.
Yeah.
What we need to do. So we talked about Peach Manga earlier, right? Um, have you ever thought of doing your own anime comic?
I have. It's definitely something that I've wanted to do. I'm not like very gifted in illustrating or
Hmm.
that type of art, but knowing, having a script ready for it would be great. It's definitely something I want to do. Having my own cartoon would be like even better for me. I'm big
Hmm.
on cartoons. Saturday morning cartoons are always big for me. So
Hmm.
I would love to have my own cartoon one of these days and be a voiceover for it would be so cool.
So what I want you to do right now is say that you're going to do it. Say that you will do it.
Yeah, I definitely will do it. You
There
will
we go.
see in the future that I
That's right.
will have my own cartoon.
That's right. You got to speak that thing into existence.
Definitely.
Speak things that are not as though they were. And then we
Definitely.
have a lot of power in the tongue.
Yeah,
So
I definitely believe in that.
yeah, we got to speak positivity into our lives, and wipe out the negativity. The things that we say can come to fruition.
Yeah, and it's important. So always be positive by, your work and like what you want to do and how you speak to yourself
Hmm.
is very important because that energy follows you. So
Yes,
make sure it's good energy if it's gonna follow you.
yes. I know our showrunner Marlon can attest to that. He's big on the meditation and
It's
speaking
important.
great things into the world. That's how this happened. That's how
Yeah.
On the Set podcast came to be. He spoke it. He said, "This is something." First, it was this is something I wanted to do.
Hmm.
Then it became something I'm gonna do.
Yes.
And he took the time to plan it out. And yes, I'm bigging you up, Marlon. He took the time to plan this out, and we're here today on the Set podcast. Come on now, with your host Steven Strickland and with Gabby, with Gabby Mendoza. Come on now, it doesn't get any better than this. So we're talking about future projects. Can we expect what can we expect from Gabby Mendoza in the future, in addition to your own comic?
Yeah.
Are you excited about anything that you're working on right now?
I'm working on something that I'm gonna try to launch. I'm hoping to launch in the
Hmm.
fall, and
Okay.
it's kind of going off of what I already do on Instagram, which is cosplay based, but like kind of creating my own story of making these editorial photographs with just self portraits and how I can kind of make it and embrace it in different types of art forms. So definitely something that I'm doing, something I'm not willing to at least talk about just yet, but something I'm excited about.
All right. I like it. I like it. And you do so many things. We've talked about a lot of things. I know you just mentioned some things that are coming up, and it's just the tip of the iceberg with you. That was the tip of the iceberg with you. What is your ultimate plan and what is your ultimate goal? What can we really look forward to from Gabby Mendoza?
I think it's always like my whole career or my life goal is always looking for ways. My big word today is collaborate, is figuring out how to tell my own story, but everybody else's story, in any way I can, in any type of art form I can. And whether it's through film, through TV, through magazines, through editorials, anything. I want to be able to to learn how to tell everybody's story or even my own and kind of like collaborate with everyone else. So that's my big goal is figuring out new ways to do that and more ways too.
Okay. Gabby, you have really blessed us today. You really blessed us today. And I want to thank you for being here and sharing your insight, uh, sharing your journey, with us, all the great things that you do, the tips that you've given, the message that you gave me today, and just being open and honest about your journey and your career. Um, that sounds like an ending of the show, right?
It does.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of the show, and I'm happy. I'm still full of emotion. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here
Thank you.
to talk about what it is that you do and all the great things that you do, and we look forward to, and we have a huge expectation. I know I do, and I'm hoping that our viewers have a huge expectation from more from Gabby Mendoza. Real quick, because I promised you I would. Can you tell the people where we can find you?
Yeah, I'm always big on Instagram and TikTok as Goddamn Gabby. Yeah, it was a name I came up with when I was like in high school, so I've had it
Mhm,
for a while, but it goes with me,
mhm.
and it's become my brand name. So if you want to find me on anything, it's Goddamn Gabby on
How do you
Instagram, on
spell it?
TikTok. It's GODDAMNGABI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you know me, I'm Steve. You can find me on Instagram at I am Steven Strickland. I spell it with a V. All right, spell it with a V. Don't hit me with the PH. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. Um, hey, it's been great, and again, I appreciate you being with us today. Give me
Yeah.
some. Give
Thank
me
you so
some.
much for having
Boom.
me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Remember to subscribe to On the Set podcast and stay tuned for more engaging conversations with industry experts. And until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep embracing the magic of storytelling. Remember this: you can't learn from perfection, and it may not be perfect, but it's you. Gabby taught me that. I'm your host, Steven Strickland, and as always, remember, do what you love and love what you do.